whether you're an executive at a processing company or think about starting your own shop, when is it the right time to go out on my own? So, Patty, one of the most common questions I get asked is, when is it the right time to go out on my own?
Hmm.
Whether you're an executive at a processing company or think about starting your own shop, you're a W-2 agent and you're thinking about becoming a 1099 agent. And I thought it was so interesting today because it really sparked my mind to think about this because of our interview.
Right.
If you remember towards the beginning of that interview, John was talking about how they say entrepreneurs work 80 hours a week because they know what the outcome is going to be. And what I find in talking to salespeople and answering this question is a common theme. And that theme is there are two types of people that want to leave an employment opportunity to find an independent or a business type opportunity.
Right.
The first ones are those who are lazy and
I was just gonna
they
say that. Right.
and
Right.
they don't like that there's this boss that's making them work so hard.
Right.
Let me tell you in no uncertain terms, if you go out on your own, you will fail. You,
Yes.
you will fail quickly. You will fail badly. That is
A-
not a good opportunity. Entrepreneurship is probably the worst treatment for laziness.
Oh,
Um,
yes. Yes.
you
And
know,
there's so many people I've seen who, I've been on my own for almost 40 years.
right,
And people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna do that." And I'm like, "You better have a lot of time."
right. And I
You better be a workaholic.
and so then this is what I find interesting about this though, right? So like it's so easy for people to hear that listening right now that are W-2 or whatever, and they're saying, okay, so you're saying because I'm an employee, I am lesser, I'm less disciplined, I'm less. No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no.
What I'm saying is your personality and your situation in life may not lend itself well to entrepreneurship,
Right.
right? And so there are certain people that have a personality that they do better with somebody else being the idea person and the go-getter and the driven,
Right.
driven, driven. And they are so good at taking those ideas and executing them
Execution.
that
Hmm.
you can end up making a fortune. And this idea that the only people that make a lot of money are independent is ridiculous.
No, no.
Almost all of the wealthiest people in the world are CEOs or something of a company that not a stock owner. They may have
Right.
options, but they're running the company. They're a VP of sales. They're an executive, and they're making millions of dollars through private equity or whatever it is. And so, this idea that you can't achieve big things as an employee or even to achieve independence at some level is ridiculous. And so, I think it's very important to understand that it's not saying that employment is bad, but as I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I want to just be on my own." I'm like, "Why?" Well, my boss this, my boss that. Stop.
Right.
That is not the reason. Let me tell you the reason that you should go on your own, and this is the reason I did, and the reason every other successful person ends up going on their own, and that is that working at a company, they will not allow you to work as hard or as creatively as you want.
Yes.
That is the
Yes.
only reason to go on your own. Or another reason is you recognize that your skill set at your current employment, you realize that you're already at peak performance, but you've hit a
Yes.
ceiling
Right.
where you cannot get rewarded more than you're already getting rewarded. And so you leave to do an opportunity on your own where there's not that ceiling.
Right, right. In fact, that was the reason why I went out on my own. It was like, either I had to, go into this management track where I was
Right.
going to max out in no time,
Right. It's not where you wanted to
or
go. You want to be the expert.
I wanted to be the expert. I
Yeah.
wanted to be a writer. I wanted to, be the
Right.
person who has hands on. And
Right.
it,
Right.
yeah, I agree. I
Yeah. And
agree.
so
Great insight, James.
thanks, Patty. Yeah. So I would say if you're out there and you're thinking about making the transition, really audit your motives because your motives ultimately are what's going to answer this question for you. Why, I'll give you one last really quick example because it's such a common one in our industry is salespeople who say, I want to build a team.
Uh huh.
Why do you want to build a team? And the answer is either because I want to give back, I want to train people, I want to change people's
Right.
lives, and I want to work even harder because I just want to see more change happen. Or the real reason is I'm tired of prospecting. I want somebody else to do it for me.
Hmm.
Okay. If that's your reason, hire somebody to do prospecting for you. Call it what it is. You still need to close the deals. But if you bring on a team, you're going to have to train them. Like there's going to
Hmm.
be more work. Anytime you want to get to a higher level, it's going to require more effort. It's going to require more discipline, more character, not less. And so don't confuse the fact of saying you want to be your own boss with saying you don't want a boss. because
Right.
those are two very different things.
Two very different. Yeah. Thanks, James. That was really good.
Thanks, buddy.